Hello everyone and welcome back to another Universe Sandbox 2 video. So today, it's sort of a similar video to what I uploaded yesterday, but today we're going to be going over how Uranus's rings could have formed here. So, this is actually a similar theory to Saturn. This is the only one I know about, but yeah, this is going on the same lines of how Saturn's could have formed, but it's slightly different because there's an interesting twist to this almost. So, let's go ahead and start this off. So, all the focus today is going to be on Uranus's moon Miranda here. So, it's a tiny little moon here. It's not even textured yet. I really hope they texture it at some point, but yeah. The interesting thing about this moon is, if you look at a real image of it, you can see that the surface just doesn't make sense. It looks like a jigsaw puzzle where all of the pieces are slotted in the wrong place almost. That's like an example, but yeah, so it looks like all the pieces are in the wrong place. So the theory is with this, is that it got hit by some asteroid or something, so it probably would have been closer to Uranus at this point. So let's remove the moons. And probably all these moons here in the ring system probably wouldn't have existed at this point because they are very small. But anyways, let's get back to the point. So, Uranus here. So, let's move Miranda closer to Uranus. So, like that. And let's also make its orbit all even out. So, let's do that. So, it's probably very close to Uranus at this point. Let's put it at a safe distance. So, somewhere like this maybe. So, like that. Now, it probably would have been a little bigger as well because if it made the rings, it would have lost a bit of mass. But, so, make it something like a little bigger, something like that. So it's actually got a coloured surface and stuff. So let's reload it, just make it white because that's the colour it should be. Wait, is it going to work? Like, please? Okay, we're going to have to keep it like that. All right, so let's put it a little further out actually. So yeah, it was a safe distance from Uranus. But anyways, let's reload it in so auto orbit. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Damn it. All right, please. I've just goofed it up. Oh, no, I haven't. Alright, so we put it like that, and then we do that. There we go. So something like that. So it's not perfect, I know, guys, but yeah, it'll get the job done. It looks pretty much in line. So, yeah, there we are. So then this would have... So, yeah, just pretend Uranus is a few billion years old now, and everything's going well. But, same thing to do with Saturn's system is a moon or an asteroid or something probably collided with Miranda. So okay, that's a little too big. So yeah, because this moon is very small, remember. So let's get a small moon, something like that. Okay, that'll work. So, and it probably would have been coming from the direction, probably went past the planet and hit Miranda. So it's either another moon that was what's the word? Another moon that was part of Uranus, or it came out of nowhere. It probably wasn't part of the Uranus system. But the thing is here is that it probably would have hit Uranus here and done this. So this is one of the theories you got to remember, because there is two theories for Uranus's rings, and we'll get onto that in a minute. But yes, a similar thing to Saturn is Miranda could have been hit by a moon here, and it would have lost a lot of mass, so it would have gone smaller to its current size. So it's about 240, I think it was, something like that. So it would have been made a lot smaller, and there would have been a lot of a lot of debris after this. Let's just collide two more moons there. And actually, let's explode this one. So, like that. Just so we get a little more fragments. So, yeah, there we go. And then Miranda, as you can see, would have been pushed away from Uranus into its current position. So, let's quickly speed this up. So, it was... wait, please let me zoom in. Alright, so there we go. So, then we'll pull it to where... Or similar to where it is now. So, it's a safe distance away from Uranus now. So, it's... zoom out, and I think it was somewhere there, maybe, I want to say. So it would have stayed there. Please orbit again. Alright, so there we go. We'll just leave it like that for now, because it's all good, so we don't need Miranda anymore. And then the thing is with Miranda is its surface would have been very molten, and maybe a lot of fragments would have hit it again. Or another thing is the whole moon could have been torn apart, and gravity brought it back together, as it was a safe distance from Uranus here. So it got smashed into, and it got pushed away, but all that debris, or any of the debris, would have came back together. So, how do I explain this? It's quite hard. So, long story short, it gets hit by another moon or asteroid. It gets pushed away, but because it got hit, it got destroyed completely. But gravity brought it back together to form the object again. So it's probably a completely different object to what it used to be. But it got smashed apart, and then it actually brought itself back together. But some of those fragments never came back to Miranda, and then they would have became part of the Uranus system. So let's make this so many objects here. So hit auto orbit, and then something like this would have happened. I can't get in the right way, sadly, but yeah, pretend that it's the other way around, like that, and then they would have began to make a ring system. So yeah, that is that on the Miranda theory. So I don't know if there's anything on Google about this, because I did find out about this long ago when I was actually just a kid. Actually, it was on a I think it was something from the BBC, something called The Planets. It was a series they used to do, like in the late 90s or early 2000s, and it was about the gas giants. And there was a theory on the gas giant episode about how Uranus's rings, or the moon Miranda, was destroyed and then it put itself back together, and then some of that debris could have made the rings. But anyways, let's go into another Uranus system, and then the next theory is, so let's pause this, remove the rings, and then actually put Uranus. So let's actually, we'll just do a new simulation actually. So let's put Uranus down, but this time we're going to pull it the way it should be. So we're going to pull it up like a normal planet would be. So similar to like Venus or Mercury or something. So it's pointing the right way up. The North Pole's at the top, South Pole's at the south. And then this theory is that, so we're going to say like an Earth-like object, because this thing would have been pretty big. But so let's just get this random exoplanet here. So another object, similar to the Saturn theory where it got too close to Saturn, but this time, instead of getting too close to Saturn and being torn apart, it actually collides with Uranus here. So another stray planet, or just another planet completely, is actually going to collide with Uranus here. So let's get it in here. So they're going to get a good collision going here. So there we are. And then this collision, because that object was so large, it's actually going to push Uranus on its side like this. And then a lot of the debris from that explosion actually creates the rings. So something like this. So that explosion pushed Uranus on its side, and then some of the fragments all flew away from Uranus, and then Uranus's gravity caught them, and then they started orbiting Uranus like this. And then that is that. Like, there we go. There's a massive impact matter now, but Uranus was knocked on its back pretty much, and then there we are. So those rings formed, and yeah, poor Uranus is now getting this weird way of orbiting the sun. So let's load up a new simulation here, just a completely default one. So let's go to the good old solar system here. And then if we look at Uranus here, so let's zoom in, hit the enter bar, speed it up. Alright, so if we zoom in, we can see it's permanently on its side now. And then if we do a whole year on Uranus, let's speed this up. As we can see, so this is probably, I think this is the South Pole. So as we can see, the South Pole, half of the year is in darkness. And then the next part of the year, or there's the South Pole, or the North Pole in the daylight now. So now the North Pole is in daylight, but the other half of the year, the North Pole is all in darkness, and then the South Pole is in the light. And then it pretty much happens for half a year, where both sides of Uranus get half the light of the sun each, and then the other side goes into darkness. So as we can see here, poor old Uranus is in a very, very strange orbit, all due to this possible planet which could have hit it and made those or hit it and created those rings. So let's go back to Uranus's simulation again. Let's go in here, and as you can see, there's loads of moons in the, or these tiny little moons inside the ring system. So what these probably are, they're probably, they're a little larger than these other fragments, but they're large enough to be classed as moons. So they're in the ring system, because these tiny objects here, these little moons, are actually remains of the large object, which are large enough to be classified as moons. So that massive planet that hit it, or we think, so the massive object that hit this, okay, that's too big. Yeah, so this massive planet that actually collided with Uranus, all the fragments that sprayed out and became the rings, some of them actually became proper moons of Uranus. So and then all of the other moons would have became on this tilted orbit, since Uranus's equator is now on its side. So all the other moons' orbits would have all been tilted as well. So pretty crazy stuff. And yeah, here's Titania, the largest moon of Uranus actually. Not very large if you compare it to Titan, which is the largest Saturn, and then our good old moon as well. This moon, largest moon of Uranus, is actually very, very small. But it's a little smaller than Pluto, I believe. Yeah, a tiny little bit. And larger than Pluto's moon. Yeah, quick comparison. Going off topic here. But yeah, there we are. So, that is all that for this video. So there's only two theories I have for Uranus. Because I don't really know much else. Don't research Uranus much, since we don't really know much about it, since we only visited it once with Voyager 2. Now, it's stuff with Jupiter and Saturn, we visited them multiple times, so we know more about them. But Uranus and Neptune, we don't really know much about. So yeah, that is that for this video. So hopefully you guys all enjoyed. It's basically like a part 2 to the one yesterday. So if you want me to do one about Jupiter or Neptune's rings, yeah, please leave a comment down below, because that would be pretty interesting. I'd actually have to do some research to find this out, because I know about Uranus and Saturn, but I've never actually looked into how Jupiter or Neptune's rings were made, because Neptune has something called ring arcs, which are like rings that aren't fully like completed. There's like massive gaps in between them and stuff, not visible to the naked eye. You have to use like cameras and stuff to spot them. But Voyager 2 luckily caught them, because people did predict that there was rings, but there was a massive discussion in NASA that I believe that people didn't know that it was actually a ring system there. But then they did debunk it, because when Voyager 2 found out. But anyways, that's enough of that. I'll leave that for another video if you guys want to see that. So yeah, if you want to see that about Jupiter or Neptune, yeah, leave a comment down below saying yeah, tell me how the rings of Jupiter or Neptune were made, something like that. And obviously, if you've got ideas for another video, also leave that down below, because that would be awesome. But anyways, that is it. So yeah, I think I've said everything. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, because our subscriber count has been going up crazy right now. So yeah, make sure you join our journey to 500 before the end of the month, or the end of the month, because that would be pretty cool. But anyways, yeah. So make sure you guys all have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. So the theory is with this, is that it got hit by some asteroid or something. So it probably would have been closer to Uranus at this point. So let's remove the moons. And probably all these moons here in the ring system probably would. Today, it's sort of a similar video to what I uploaded yesterday, but today we're going to be going over how Uranus's rings could have formed here. So, this is actually a similar theory to Saturn. This is the only one I know about, but yeah, this is going on the same lines of how Saturn's could have formed, but it's slightly point. But yeah, the interesting thing about this moon is, if you look at a real image of it, you can see that the surface just doesn't make sense. It looks like a jigsaw puzzle where all of the pieces are slotted in the wrong place almost. That's like an example, but yeah, so it looks like all the pieces are in the wrong place. Different, because there's an interesting like twist to this almost. So let's go ahead and start this off. So all the focus today is going to be on Uranus's moon Miranda here. So it's a tiny little moon here. It's not even textured yet. I really hope they texture it at some point. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Universe Sandbox 2 video. So